Chapter: School or a Lesson from the Gods. Part 2.
It came time to return. The information I'd obtained filled me up so much that I didn't even notice what was going on around me. I said goodbye to Anastasia rather quickly. Don't see me back. I don't want anyone to interrupt my thinking while I'm walking alone.
Yes, no one should interrupt your thinking. When you reach the river, my grandfather will be there, and he will help take you across to the dock in his boat.
I walked alone through the taiga toward the river and immediately thought about all I'd seen and heard. One question persisted most of all. How did this happen to us? By which I mean most people. Every person supposedly has a homeland, but no one has his own little piece of his homeland. There's not even a law in the country to guarantee a person and his family the opportunity to own property for life, if only a single hectare of land. Parties and rulers, succeeding one another, promise all kinds of goods, but they skirt this question of a piece of the homeland for each person. Why? After all, our big homeland is made up of small parcels, dear, small native parcels, the gardens and little houses on them. If no one has that, what will Russia be made up of then? A law should be enacted so that each person who wants to can have a piece of homeland like that. Each family that wanted this could have it. The deputies could pass the law. We all choose the deputies. That means we should choose those who agreed to pass a law like that. A law. How could it be formulated? How? Perhaps like this. The state is obligated to provide each married couple, at their request, with 1 hectare of land for lifelong use, with the right to bequeath. The agricultural output produced on family holdings will never be assessed any kind of tax. Family holdings will not be subject to sale. That sounds good. But what if someone takes the land and doesn't do anything on it? Then the law also has to say, if the land is not cultivated for 3 years, the state may confiscate it. But what if a person wants to live in town and work and use his land as he would a dacha? Let him. Women are going to go to their native home to give birth anyway. Those who don't will bear children who won't forgive them later. Who will promote the law? A party? Which one? A party like that should be organized. Who will do the organizing? Where are those politicians to be found? We have to search for them, search quickly. Otherwise, you'll die without ever once getting to your homeland. Your grandchildren will not remember you. When will it happen that this possibility comes about? When will we be able to say, "Hello, my homeland"? Anastasia's grandfather was sitting on a log by the shore. Next to him, a small wooden boat tied to shore was rocking slightly on the waves. It's not hard to row downstream a few kilometers to the next dock on the opposite bank of the river. But how is he going to row back against the current? I thought as I greeted the old man, and I asked him about it.
"I'll make my way little by little,"
the grandfather replied. Usually, always cheerful. This time he seemed serious and not very talkative. I sat down on the log with him and said, "I can't figure out how Anastasia holds so much information inside her. She remembers about the past and what is happening now in our life. Does she know everything? But she lives in the taiga and takes delight in the flowers, sun and beast. She doesn't seem to be thinking about anything."
"What's there to think about? She senses it, the information. When she needs it, she takes as much as she wants. The answers to all questions are in space next to us. You just need to know how to access and give voice to it."
How's that?
How? Here you are walking down the street of a town you know well. You're thinking about your own affairs. A passerby suddenly comes up to you and asks you how to get somewhere. Would you be able to give him an answer?
Yes.
There, you see. It's all simple. You were thinking your own thoughts. A question arose that had nothing to do with what you were thinking about, but you could answer the man. The answer is kept inside you.
But this is a request to explain how to get somewhere. If a passerby asked me what happened in the town where he and I had met, well, say 1,000 years before the moment we met, no one could give him an answer.
He couldn't if he was lazy. Everything is in each person and has been kept around him since the moment of creation. Why don't you get in the boat? It's time to cast off."
The old man sat at the oars. When we had gone about 1 kilometer from shore, the taciturn old man began to speak.
Try not to get bogged down in this information and these thoughts, Vladimir. Define reality yourself. Feel matter and what you can't see yourself evenly.
I don't understand why you're telling me this.
You've started digging around in information, and now you're trying to define it with your mind. But your mind isn't the proper means. The volume of what my granddaughter knows won't fit in a mind, and you will stop noticing what is going on around you.
But I noticed everything. Here's the river, the boat.
So how is it you, who notices everything, didn't manage to say a proper goodbye to my granddaughter and your son?
Well, maybe I didn't. I was thinking about bigger things. I really had left without hardly saying goodbye to Anastasia, and all the way here I've been thinking so hard that I never noticed how I reached the river. Anastasia was thinking about something else too, something bigger, and she doesn't need the various sentiments.
Anastasia senses all the planes of being, and she senses each, not to the detriment of another.
Well, so what?
Get your binoculars out of your bag and look at the tree on the shore where our boat put out.
I looked at the tree through my binoculars. On the shore next to it stood Anastasia holding my son. There was a bundle hanging on her bent arm. She and my son were waving after the boat as it moved downstream. I waved to Anastasia too.
Apparently my granddaughter and her son followed you. She was waiting for you to finish your thinking. Remember your son and think of her. She also collected that bundle for you, but the information you got from her was more important to you. The spiritual, the material, everything has to be sensed equally. Then life is stable, and you can stand on 2 feet. When one predominates over the other, it's like being lame.
The old man spoke without malice and worked his oars nimbly. Whether to him or to myself, I tried to answer out loud. The main thing for me right now is to understand for myself. Who are we? Where are we?
End of chapter. Join us for the next and last segment of Co-Creation, Book 4 of the Ringing Cedars series, Anomalies in Gelendzик.